everyone, it's TNTeenager, but for today, there's no video to react. I actually want to touch on the truth of the very harsh truth on the fact that the Bendy franchise might be dying. Before the Bendy fans hate comment on this video, I just want to say, I myself was a Bendy fan, and I still am a partial Bendy fan. So please don't hate comment because I'm just don't shoot the messenger, okay? I have a few points I want to prove with what I have to say with this, so I may as well just get right into it. For my first point, it's dying because it's lack in a passionate community. Remember when Bendy and FNAF were considered rivals back then? Well, now that point has been completely disproven because FNAF interacts with its community and immediately only just likes tweets. Sure, Scott isn't active on Twitter and social media in general as much as he is, but hey, he put out an apology game and he put it out on Reddit saying, "I'm sorry that this is taking so long. How about I make this game so you will feel a bit less angry?" And even Dark Deception did that. Sorry about that, I hit my mic. Dark Deception did that with, they made Monsters and Mortals to make the weight of Chapter 4 less aggravating. And I thought that was a great thing to do. And what did Bendy do? What did it do? It made a video giving us the most concerning news I've ever heard in that day I watched that video. Which is my next point. For the next point, I have to reveal my bias. I love Bendy for the story, and the hidden lore, and the theories. But mostly the theories. In fact, that's how I got introduced to hit horror YouTuber Super Horror Bro Mike. Congrats on 1 million, Mike. I loved his theories and predictions on what would happen in Bendy and the Ink Machine. And they would just be so entertaining with Mike, narrating that, and having his smart mind think like that. And I'm not saying he's not entertaining nowadays. I still consistently watch his content, be it Bendy or not. I'm saying that Bendy is what got me into YouTubers such as Super Horror Bro. And as I was saying, the fact that Bendy and the Dark Revival will not release chapter by chapter, but as a full game, that's just infuriating to me. I want to say this on the internet because I think a lot of people will agree with me. It's stupid. It's just plain stupid because that means there will be no theories. None. No theories at all. No predictions. And that is what theories in Bendy are mostly about. There are predictions on what will happen. That's what every Bendy theory is nowadays. But, when it's going to release as one full game... Mike said this even, in a live stream. The fact that it's releasing as one game doesn't give him that much freedom to do theories. Which is stupid, because Mike should definitely... Bendy and the Dark Revival is going to be a great game. But it would be a great game for the reason why the first game was a good game... if it just released one chapter at a time. Because it would bring so much hype. And that's why it got so much hype in the horror franchise. Because there was so much hype for each chapter. When, they got teased. Especially chapter 4 and 5. That was so much hard work put into it. And it lived up to so much hype. And the developers killed it with that. And they made it seem worth the wait because they gave us teasers and they gave us a lot. They gave us the news that they were working on chapter 5 as well as chapter 4 so they wouldn't have to wait as long for chapter 5. Which was great. It was fine with me. There won't be, and so the fact that will happen, that it'll release as one full game, will also mean that, there won't be enough new fans to keep the franchise going, and it will make a bunch of old fans leave because of the theories debunked. I think that's how you say it. I don't know. Well, I think the Meatly and Mike Mood could fix this. by releasing one chapter a month. And I think, like, that'll be good. To me, it will be. Because they have to acknowledge that that was what made their first game so popular. The fact that you could literally predict anything, but there was still evidence for everything. And it made sense in the end. Well, sense in the Bendy universe. Whatever you call sense. And now for a bit of concession. IHS Games just recently made a video about 3 possibilities of what could happen to the Bendy franchise after Dark Revival gets released. I slightly believe that the Meatly and Mike Mood will sell the company and the Bendy IP to another studio, but it's not that likely. He said in that video, IHS, he said that it was unlikely, and I agree with him. It is pretty unlikely that they'll do that. I believe that the fact that developers have not given us any teasers, hints, or even something for 414 itself means they're probably working themselves to death. So maybe they don't really care as much for the community stuff anymore. I'm sorry to say that. There are only 2 developers working on Bendy, let's be aware of that. IHS claimed in that same video that the other developers that made Bendy have now just quit the project midway and left Mike and Meatly to do it. To me, I'm just like, what the hell? Why would they do that? Why would they just quit midway? Why didn't they just finish it and then quit? That's stupid. Like, unless their jobs were finished in it, I understand that, but seriously, the way it sounds to me is that they just quit midway, which is stupid. So, I just don't understand that. So Bendy does not have that many people to continue the franchise developers-wise. It only has 2, as far as we know, which is Mike Mood and Meatly. Mike Mood, we don't even hear about him anymore. He's not, like, anywhere. He's not on Twitter. He's not anywhere. We never even heard of him for weeks. The only tweet, I think the latest tweet that he put out was the one years ago, that Bendy and the Dark Revival will not be a prequel or a sequel, and that's the latest one I can remember. I don't know if he's put out anymore. And now, I know it's a bit late to say in this video, but the reason why I wanted to make this is because I was viewing a conversation on Twitter between Mike the creator, which made the Final Hours demo, which I played on my channel, and IHS Games, and some other people on Twitter. Mind you, this conversation inspired me to make this very video, because it really did remind me of how that Bendy is not in a good place. They discussed the fact that Bendy is dying or not, and they brought up very interesting points. Like Mike and IHS said that they're moving to different franchises. Like Mike's getting more into FNAF, IHS is getting more into Monsters and Mortals, and I myself confess that I am moving on to other franchises as well. Like I moved on to Little Nightmares for a little, and then I heard that they're never going to make a game again, which is so upsetting, but nothing I can do about it. And I'm moving on to games such as FNAF and Resident Evil. Yeah, I've been growing more into those games, and they're still relevant, because, they're, like I just said, they're still relevant. And there's so much hype to live up to the next game. Like, Resident Evil 8, that was a good game, and I loved it. I loved people playing it. Well, I couldn't play it. Too expensive for me. Sorry. It made me... The whole conversation, as I was saying, reminded me once again, the Meatly doesn't give a damn on what fan games there are about the Bendy universe. He doesn't give a damn. In fact, I was in a conversation with Mike, the creator of Final Hours, and he said himself, I'm sorry, Mike, please comment on this video if you want it taken down for this very reason why I'm going to say this. If you don't want this to be said now, I'm sorry. Like, I'll take it down as soon as you say. But he quit. He quit making Final Hours. And that was sad. That was sad to hear, because I wanted to be a part of it. It seemed like a great video game, and it had so much potential to me. It was sad to see that, they quit. But, I understand why they did. Bendy does not get that much of a good rap when it comes to fan-made video games. Well, in the community it does. For the developers, no. No. Scott, however, does give a damn on fan games. He's even, every FNAF fan knows this. He's made a full initiative, a full program on him funding community projects. Well, certain ones. And I'm so looking forward to FNAF Plus. I don't care that there's not that much teasers nowadays. If it's still in development, being such a good game, by the looks of it, I'm going to love it. Seriously, it's gonna be great. Overall, it's dying. And there's barely anything we can do about it. Well, Mike tweeted just now of recording this video, and I responded to him, saying that I'm listening. But he said that we could potentially save this by having every Bendy fan game producer, come together and make one ginormous fan game that everyone would love and hopefully get some attention from the developers. There were two thoughts of me going to this. One, I couldn't tell if Mike was being sincere or sarcastic. I just couldn't tell. Because he said that the franchise is best left dead. Well, okay, don't go after him. Please don't. He said that he regrets saying that he believes that. But I believe him. I believe that myself that it should be left dead as well. Because there's nothing we can do about it, and some things are out of our control. So, and this is one of them. I'm sorry, but we just cannot control that, since the Meatly doesn't care he doesn't care about fan games or community projects besides fan art. I mean, it's heartbreaking to see a franchise die like this. The Bendy franchise, of all things that inspired me to make content. It inspired me to write stories. It inspired me to do so many things with my creativity. It allowed me to go all out with everything I could, and it got me recognition for that. In fact, wait a minute. I'll be right back. Bendy was what got me this. I got a medal. And you know what that medal's for? Writing a story based in the Bendy universe. And that story, you can go check that story out on my Twitter. That story has gotten me so much recognition among my school. Saying that it was moving, it was tragic, and it was great. A great story. And for me, I'd love to see that kind of story, my story, be in a game, but who am I kidding? It's never going to be after this. In fact, that brings me to say that some fan games I am really looking forward to, like Joseph and the Cure for Sin. That fan game, it's so high effort. And you could tell that there's so much effort being put into it. Let me put this on, since I'm just going to keep putting this in my hand. This year has just mostly sucked for horror games. FNAF Security Breach keeps getting delayed, as well as Chapter 4 for Dark Deception. We're never going to get anything more about Little Nightmares. Hello Neighbor 2 is taking forever, and we've had no updates. At all. And Bendy is becoming a dead franchise. Because of its lack of interaction with the community, its developer loss, and just plain the idea of it all releasing at once. I have the feeling that every indie horror game from the last decade, like 2010 to 2020, is just slowly fading away, except FNAF. Because FNAF is still relevant. In fact, Scott wanted to end it on Ultimate Custom Night, we all know that. But he got inspired to make more. Because he sold... Well, he didn't sell it. He partnered with a studio, I think. I think that's what he did. He just partnered with a studio, and they made Help Wanted, and they're making FNAF Security Breach, which I'm so hyped for. It's going to be great. I think that's the end of what I have to say. IHS Games, Mike, anyone, if you see this video, please comment down below if I've missed anything, or if there's something I should know about this. But please don't be too harsh. I just wanted to say, my thoughts on how Bendy's slowly dying. And I'm sorry I'm looking this direction way too much. I'm just shy to look at the camera at this point. Because I have the feeling I've just dug myself a grave. I don't know. I think this is the most biased thing I've said on YouTube. And I make reaction videos. If you enjoyed the video, please like it. It means more than you think. And please subscribe if you're new. I was TNTeenager, and I'll see you all in my next video. Goodbye, everyone, and stay safe.